Good afternoon. Well, it could be good morning or good night wherever you are. So, hello everyone. Welcome to Sports Talk. It is Saturday, April 30. I am Daniel Blake. Thank you so much for joining me. Everyone who's listening on the radio, if you're listening on the Love 101 FM app, if you haven't done so as yet, you can go in the Google Play or Apple Store on your phone or mobile device. You can also go in the browser if your phone don't have no space, love101.org, and you can listen to me live there, or for all my friends watching on Facebook and YouTube, hello. Um, as you heard, Sports Talk is brought to you by Jamaica Customs Agency. And yeah, we hope to have a great show today. We'll soon be joined by, firstly, Wendy Lee. She's the national swimming coach, Jamaica, competed at the Carifta Aquatic Championships in Barbados, and we left with, I believe, 64 medals. So it wasn't just the track and field championships that you saw here at the National Stadium that was going on. We had swimmers over there doing their thing as well. So we'll speak with her just after the 1:15 break. And then after the 1:30 break, we'll speak to Philo Wallace, former West Indies batsman, just to talk about the future of the ODI and white ball teams, ODI and T20 teams, which are also referred to as the white ball teams. After Karen Pollard's sudden retirement. Well, some people think that it's sudden. He certainly didn't think so. So we'll talk to him about that. Remember, you can WhatsApp me 876-997-3125. That's 876-997-3125. If you want to talk about Pollard's retirement, the West Indies, where you think they go from here, what you thought about Pollard's career in general as a West Indies player, can talk about that. If you've been following the swimming, can talk to me about that. Or if you just want to send good wishes, you can do that. 876-997-3125. Leave it there. Please don't send me a voice note. Not that I don't want to hear your voice, but say, me can't juggle so much things at once. If you write an essay in the WhatsApp, I will literally read it. Or if you can't bother WhatsApp and you're watching on YouTube and Facebook, you can leave it in the comments section. All right. So, before I go into my monologue for today, which I call the Danielog, let me give you some sports bits, which is just updating you on some of the, maybe major sporting events and issues that have happened throughout the week that you may have missed. All right. So yesterday was a record-breaking day for Edwin Allen and Heidel at the Penn Relays, which are going on right now. In the 4x1 for girls, Edwin Allen's team of Serena Cole, Tina Clayton, Brandy Hall, and Tia Clayton clocked 43.18 seconds to erase their previous time of 43.62, which they set in 2019. Heidel was second in 43.69, but they returned later in the 4x4 with Brianna Liston, Karika Hill, Alia Baker, and Onika Makanoff, as they clocked 3 minutes 32.77 seconds, erasing their previous mark, which they set in 2017 of 3 minutes 33.99 seconds. So we have a whole lot of athletes from schools, and even our universities are competing at the Penn Relays. If I was to update you on all of them, then we would be here till 2 o'clock. So just listen out to your local sports reports, papers, and then you will get more results. All right. Meanwhile, Minister of Sports Olivia Grange, has assured that she will assist Homo Technical High athlete Samantha Price, who unfortunately broke her leg when she fell on the opening leg of the 4x800 meters at the Penn Relays. Price, if you remember, won the 3,000 meters at the Carifta Games recently. She was taken to the Penn Medical Center to do surgery. Minister Grange, in a statement, announced that all athletes competing at Penns are registered on the ministry's athletes insurance program. So it sounds like Price will be taken care of, and we wish her a speedy recovery. Now, according to reports, the Reggae Girls have written to the Jamaica Football Federation asking for the removal of interim head coach Vin Blaine. It is alleged that the girls aren't satisfied with Blaine's leadership style and wants him out before the start of the final round of World Cup qualifying in July. Blaine, who replaced Hubert Busby in December, told a media outlet that he believes outside forces are influencing the girls. Meanwhile, the under 17 girls will look to continue their bid to qualify for the World Cup when they play Cuba tomorrow in the CONCACAF under 17 championship in the Dominican Republic. The young Jamaican girls finished second in their group behind Canada, and a win for them would see them advance to the quarterfinals, but they could end up facing the favorites USA, who have scored, I think, 38 goals so far in just 3 games. Yeah, they play Curacao later today, so it could end up being tricky. In the Champions League, English clubs Manchester City and Liverpool have advantages heading into the second leg of the Champions League semi-finals next week. Man City beat many-time champions Real Madrid 4-3 last Tuesday at the Etihad, while Liverpool beat Villarreal 2-0 at Anfield. Meanwhile, Liverpool regained top spot in the English Premier League after a 1-0 win over Newcastle earlier today, but it could be short-lived because at sports time, Manchester City were up by 2 goals at Leeds, which would then move them to 83 points, keeping Liverpool on 82 points. And finally, the Boston Celtics will take on the defending champions Milwaukee Bucks in the Eastern Conference semifinals of the NBA, while the Miami Heat will battle the Philadelphia 76ers. Over in the West, the Golden State Warriors will face the Memphis Grizzlies, while the Dallas Mavericks will challenge the Phoenix Suns. So, and that's just a little bit of what happened during the week. But yeah, hope that I updated you. All right, so it is now time for the Danielog.
This is David Blake.
This is Hope Blake.
I am Ariel Brown Blake.
I'm here to tell you right now.
It's time for the Danielog.
The Danielog.
The Danielog.
I love it.
Presented by no one.
All right. Good afternoon, Jodian, Audrey, and Beverly. Thank you so much. All right. So, if you were to plan a concert, right? You were an event planner. You never have any budget. You had all the money in the world, and you could pick anybody to come perform, and them have to say yes, right? So let's say you had the choice between Beyonce and John Legend, right? So you have those two on your concert. Who you making perform first? All right, let's go Jamaican then. Say you have Spice or Shensia, right? And then you had like Nation Boss or Yaksta. And you know them people there? Who you'd make perform first, and who you'd make close the show? Since this is the family station, what if you had Yolanda Adams or Mary, and then you had Jermaine Edwards? Who you'd make perform first, and who you'd make close the show? Would you let the woman perform first? You'd make Beyonce go before John Legend? You'd make Shensi or Spice go before Nation Boss and Yaksta? Would you make Yolanda Adams or Mary go before Jermaine Edwards? And that's no disrespect to John Legend or Nation Boss, Yaksta or Jermaine Edwards. I'm just saying that these women, what they have done in their careers and their level of talent is like up here. So it don't mean say you're diminishing what the man them do, but you know who the box office draw is, right? So this is something that I've been saying over the last few years, and we've seen it recently in track and field, more recently, but when you realize a lot of the men's events still take like precedence to the women's events, but the star power don't kind of show. So, champs, for example, the race that you were looking forward to at the Boys and Girls Championships was that Class 1 Girls 100 meters. Why? Brianna Liston, Tia Clayton, Tina Clayton. If I asked you who won the Class 1 boys, you'd have probably stutter over it. If I ask you who comes second, if I ask you who comes third. Let's go for the Olympics last year, which was the standout race, the women's 100 meters, Shayla Elaine, Sharika Talu. Ooh. You remember the men's race? You probably remember that the Italian won. You probably don't even remember his name. You don't know who comes second. You don't know who comes third, right? And that's, again, not disrespecting the men, but over the years, track and field, they have had this tradition where the women's events usually go before the men's events because the men's events are usually the big draw. But as we have seen, our women have, and not just in the sprints, by the way, I'm just using the sprints as an example, but the female athletes in track and field right now have risen to a level where we're talking about them breaking world records on a consistent basis. And still, they're not the box office draw when it comes to the schedule or the TV, whatever it is. And again, not disrespecting the men, because what these men are doing are fantastic as well. But there's a reason why you have marketing, right? So I don't want to publicize no brand on purpose, but when you really think, say, Lasco going to promote them green peas more than them milk, like everybody know Lasco milk, right? The one that come in the packet and yeah, they're not going to promote them green peas harder than them milk. Why? Because the milk is box office. KFC don't say come and try our coleslaw or corn or our popcorn chicken. KFC say buy the big deal or buy the 9-piece spicy original or barbecue, because that is what's very marketable. Brands focus on their main sellers. And I think that track and field now should start to do that. So I don't know if they're going to do it for this year. Hopefully they do. But the women's 100 meters is going to be super exciting. The 200, the 400, even the women's long and triple jump. To me, those should be the box office. And again, not disrespecting the men, because we do want to see the men, but you definitely want to close the show, or you want to market the show by highlighting the women. If you agree with me, you can WhatsApp me, leave it in the comments. But yeah, that's my belief. You know, let's big up the woman then. All right. So that was my monologue for today. Thank you so much for listening. All right, we are going to go into a break, and when we come back, more sports talk.
Bashko time. All the things that you need for your home and prices so low, you would never need a loan at Bashko. At Bashko. Shopping. Appliances, house with furniture and rugs, east side linens and glass and mugs at Bashko. You're shopping at Bashko. Where you the north also in the east and the west, Bashko. Them all over, they must be the best at Bashko. At Bashko. You're shopping at Bashko. At Bashko. 30 years giving you more.
Hello, Jamaica! Don't miss the virtual edition of the 18th Barbados Flying Gospel Awards on May 8th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Virtual performances from Michelle Sylvester and Denise Plummer from Trinidad and Tobago. Nominations by Kevin Downswell, Knute Neal, and Nadine Blair. $20 booking at flameawardsbb.com. Same day, $25. Win a prize trip to Barbados. Part proceeds in aid of charity. Support the One Caribbean movement, taking gospel to another level.
The Pesticides Control Authority, PCA, of the Ministry of Health has been onboarded to the Jamaica Single Window for Trade, JSWIFT. Effective April 11, 2022, the Pesticides Control Authority, PCA, has been facilitating online applications of all import permits for pesticides, herbicides, fumigants, and other related products. Traders and their agents will now be able to make online application to obtain both pre- and approved permits, and also make payments for the PCA import cess. Benefits include a single application for multiple items within the same shipment, faster processing, increased convenience, and ease of doing business. The PCA import permit service now on JSWIFT.
This Mother's Day, give mom the gift of fiber-fast internet with Digicel Plus. Stream, browse, game, work, and do everything you need with internet speed starting at 100 megabits per second. There's more for mom with a Digicel Plus home fiber bundle on Jamaica's fastest network. Access thousands of free on-demand movies and series at no extra cost. Call 876-618-DIGI to sign up or find out if Digicel Plus home fiber is in your area. Digicel Plus, better together.
Jamaica and its workforce are advancing quickly. Life-changing opportunities are arising. You need training and support. We are the Renewed Heart NSTA Trust, committed to providing new and emerging skills training and opportunities. Come to Heart. We'll help you claim your place in the workforce of the future.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness invites members of the public to attend the vaccination site Saturday, April 30 and Sunday, May 1 to receive their first, second, or booster dose of the AstraZeneca, Pfizer, Sinopharm, or Johnson & Johnson vaccine for persons 18 years and older. Jamaicans 12 years and older will also be offered the first or second dose of the Pfizer vaccine. Here are the sites for Saturday, April 30. St. Thomas, Morant Bay Health Center, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Kingston and St. Andrew, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. St. Joseph's Hospital, Dehaney Park Health Center, Harborview Health Center, Donald Quarry High School, Fontana Pharmacy, Barbican, and Waterloo, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Health Plus Associates, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Bethel Baptist Church, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. MedStop Medical, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. In St. Catherine, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Rose Duncan Park, Linstead. In St. James, Montego Bay Comprehensive Health Center, Type 5, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Here are the sites for Sunday, May 1. In St. Catherine, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Jung's Supermarket, Portmore, and Kingston and St. Andrew, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Sunrise Health Center and Winchester Medical and Surgical. Persons should take their vaccination card, a government-issued ID or letter from a Justice of the Peace to the sites. Let's get vaccinated and get back to life.
Welcome back to Sports Talk right here on Love 101. It is 20 minutes past 1 p.m. here in Jamaica. All right, we're actually going to start with Philo Wallace, former West Indies batsman who played 40 matches overall for the West Indies between 1997 and 2000. Spoke to him about Kieron Pollard's retirement. He announced his retirement earlier this month. He'll turn 35 next month, played 123 ODIs after making his debut in 2007, scored 2,706 runs at an average of 26 with 3 centuries, took 55 wickets along the way. But he did play in 101 T20 internationals, scored 1,569 runs, had a high score of 75, which is kind of surprising for somebody of his talent. But 75 is a pretty good score, but you'd think saying would have a couple of centuries in him bag, right? He won the T20 World Cup title back in 2012, and he became captain in 2019, where he just won 25 of his 61 matches across all formats and led the team to the T20 World Cup. As some would say, disaster last year, where they won just one game out of a possible 6, and they didn't make it out of the group. Some felt that he would have retired then and there, handed over his captaincy, but he stayed on. So the April announcement was, a little surprising. So that's basically the first question I asked Philo Wallace. Asked him if he thought it was a surprise.
I'm really surprised by the timing of Pollard's announcement to retire from international cricket. I, for one, was thought that he would have done it after the World Cup. And being one of the members of that committee that was set up by Cricket West Indies in 2019 to review the host selection policy, and the recommendation going from the committee to the board to have Pollard as a white ball captain, Pollard to me did not live up to the expectations. He was very astute in CPL, always seemed to be that tinker that we were missing in our white ball cricket. And when he got onto that big stage, he did not really live up to the billing. So I wasn't surprised. I think that I commend him for making a bold decision. I thought he would have done it after the World Cup, as I said, because he said that the World Cup is not a developmental tour. That's why they invested in the senior players. And we saw where those senior players took us in that T20 World Cup. And that is where I left. We'll leave that conversation. So I think on the back of that, not really getting the best out of the squads as well that he's been captaining after that, I think he made a very wise choice and to move on with his career.
Yeah, you mentioned a bit about his captaincy. There seemed to have been, well, according to some of the players, that there was more camaraderie and togetherness in the team. But why do you think he could not get them over the hump when it came to the T20 World Cup, when it came to important ODI and T20 series?
I think sometimes when you're looking at leadership, the leader has to be the one who stands out and could get the players to deliver in crunch time. And I realized that Pollard was not able to get the players to deliver at crunch time. I know there's been a lot said about his attitude and stuff like that, but sometimes the attitude of such can be one of good. But it's how you disseminate your charges, your instructions. So for me, at the crucial points in some of the international commitments that he had, he didn't get the best out of his players, and you were expecting more of him. I know that in some instances as well, Daniel, Pollard bat as low as number 8. Maybe we would expect Pollard to bat higher. He will always send the younger players to do it. I know sometimes a captain will say, well, I want to see if these guys can live up to the billing. But you as a captain, you have to hold your hand up and say, look, I am going to show these guys how it is done, and I'm going to lead from the front. Even with his bowling, he hardly bowled for West Indies as well. So these are things that showed me that maybe Pollard was missing a little trick here and there, and it causes some series. And then when you look at his record, it is not fantastic. To me, it's just an ordinary record for a guy who I thought would have delivered more for West Indies.
Yeah, so he made his debut back in 2007. His averages in ODI and T20 haven't been spectacular. We know that he's had some flashes of brilliance. But when you look on his overall career, do you think that he will go down as one of the greats of West Indies cricket in the shorter version, or will he be more remembered for his exploits in T20 franchises like the IPL and CPL, etc.?
I think to put the tagline "great" onto Kieran Pollard is a bit much. When you look at his record, it's not fantastic. He's played a long time for West Indies. He has not really produced. I think his highest score in T20 international is 75 not out. And the man with such ability, who's played for so long, you would have expected more from him. When you look at it, I think that he has come in and he's done what he could have done for West Indies cricket. He's left a mark on the team. You heard the guys speaking about how he's a father figure, and he encouraged them. All these are behind the scene things, and we're hoping that they now can pick up all those positive intents that Pollard would have given to them, and all the positive instructions and beliefs in themselves to bring it now out into the future where we go on to play 50 over cricket and T20 cricket without Pollard. Yes, he was an influential figure, and I hope that the influence is positive on the younger players. I know those younger players have to step up and become the experienced and senior players to push all white ball cricket up to the top.
Yeah, you mentioned about experience. Karen Pollard announcing his retirement, Dwayne Bravo, Chris Gale, even though a few years back, Marlon Samuels to an extent. For players who, have a lot of experience and leadership qualities, know that a lot of them are now gone. Are you concerned that the team will lose that leadership and experience, or do you think that this is a great place for the Windies to rebuild?
I think we're in a great place at the moment. The selection panel led by the most honorable Dr. Desmond Haynes, Sawan, and head coach Phil Simmons, and director Jimmy Adams, they now have to sit down and come up with names who they believe can slot into that captaincy position, both in T20 and the ODI, and who have that control of the dressing room. Pollard, yes, would have had the control of the dressing room, the Marlon Samuels, the Chris Gills, the Dwayne Bravo. Those guys would have had the control of the dressing room. Now they're no longer there. You expect those guys who were there with them can now take that baton and run with it in a positive way. There'll be good times and there'll be bad times, but they have to remember the good times and let the good times be more than the bad times. So whoever is given that leadership role within those various squads, they need to be the ones to draw on the experience of those guys who have left us and bring that into fruition and get the other players now to join in and sing off the same hymn sheet, as they say, to take our white ball cricket forward.
Nicholas Puran has had that opportunity as vice captain. He stepped in a few times when Pollard was missing. Do you think that he is the automatic pick, or do you foresee someone else getting the role?
Well, the only time West Indies really broke ranks and not giving a vice captain the captaincy is when Desmond Haynes he was overstepped by Richie Richardson to be West Indies captain. But you always find throughout the history of our cricket that the vice captain always takes over from the captain once the captains leave that position. For the T20, yes, Puran has been our vice captain. He's done it he's captained the teams on occasions and with some success. One would expect that he's been around now the world in playing T20 cricket, and he would have learned a lot. He's rubbing shoulders with a lot of great T20 players, and a lot of great cricketers in general. And you will hope that he can be the automatic choice to be our T20 captain. See, that is the format that best suits him at the moment. When you look at our 50-over squad, Shea Hope has been our deputy. And his form, has not been the greatest for the last couple of years. He had a bumper year a couple of years ago, but can't seem to rekindle that form. My take, I said it on another program, do we take Shea Hope and put him into the captaincy of our ODI squad, knowing that his form is not as good as it should be? Or should we even look to go back? Some people said that I'm crazy to go back to Jason Holder. But here's a man, he lost the captaincy because he was not enjoying his cricket. And I believe that he has grown and he has matured enough now from what I am seeing and hearing about him. And I believe that the selection panel can have a quiet word with him and ask him if he would like to take our squad forward for another 2 or 3 years. Shea Hope is still a young man. So we can try to get the best out of Jason Holder as our 50-over captain and bring true Shea Hope to be the captain when he leaves. So if we put it on Shea Hope, we have to make sure that he has all the tools available to Shea Hope to help him to mold that 50-over team, and to also with his cricketing ability at the 50-over level. 50-over cricket, you have to be smart. You have a smart leader, an astute leader, and seize opportunities, and a leader who can go there and show and lead from the front with both bat and ball. And that is why I'm saying that if we give Puran the T20, I don't think Puran can fit the bill for 50 over cricket as a captain. I think he still has some way to go in learning the intricacies of 50 over cricket. So I would say that I would if Jason doesn't want it, if they don't let the selection side out to speak to him and go straight for Shea Hope, make sure that Shea Hope has all the tools available to help him. Because there's a World Cup, a 50 over World Cup that's around the corner. And before that, we have the T20 World Cup in Australia later this year. So we need to have our captains ready to face the music with these two big international tournaments.
Yeah, I also want to touch on something. England Managing Director of Cricket, Rob Key, newly appointed, says that he is considering hiring coaches for different formats of the game. So you mentioned about maybe Puran not being ready for ODI captaincy. We already have a test captain in Craig Brathwaite. Do you think that maybe we should follow that line of thinking, or should Phil Simmons continue to control all formats?
Well, I'm not a big believer in having one coach for every format. It's a lot of pressure on the coach. West Indies is quite fortunate that our lead coach in Phil Simmons is doing all three formats with little rest. And mentally, he has to be drained. But we don't hear of a management team complaining, which is quite strange. But I think that Rob Key is looking to do things in English cricket that will suit English cricket. Now, when you're talking about three coaches, you're talking about three salaries. Does Cricket West Indies have that in the purse? So we are not in a position like the ECB to say, well, look, hey, we can have a coach for Test cricket, a coach for 50 over, and a coach for T20. Or if he does give the T20 and the 50 over job to one coach and the Test job to another coach, there'll be two coaches, but over three formats. Maybe West Indies can do that if they have the resources. I am not so certain if they have the resources to do such. So we're quite fortunate to have Phil Simmons doing all three, and it tends to bring consistency as well from the coach. He would take these players from one format to the next format to the other format, and he would see the development of them. He would know how they think in the various formats, and he can best get them to perform. Sometimes when you have these split coaches, there's a little breakdown in communication, because you got to remember that if you look at the new selection panel, their policy is looking to bring some of the Test cricketers into our ODI squad. So if you have Phil Simmons coaching the ODI side, he's already coaching the Test squad. So there's no big conflict or communication process there. That process is quite smooth. Maybe the T20, but when you look at it at the moment, our selection panel is trying to integrate Test cricketers into ODI cricket, which I tend to agree. So the consistency of the coaching is already there. It's just that Phil Simmons and his team have to be a bit more imaginative and bring more and try to get these players to give us more. I think they have more to offer West Indies cricket, but we just need to dig them a little deeper.
Yeah, we do have the T20 World Cup coming up later this year. We have a number of our top talents playing in the IPL, including first-timers like Odin Smith, Obed McCoy, Romario Shepherd, a lot of them getting breaks there. When you see our players playing in all these franchises around the world, are you sort of surprised that our ranking and our performances aren't higher up? And are you confident that, these set of players will probably do better than the so-called experienced team that we took last year?
Yes, I'm surprised that our T20 ranking, that we are so low in the ICC charts. When you look at our players playing the IPL, to me, they look happier. They tend to go beyond the call of duty for the IPL franchises. They're always smiling, they're diving around. They're doing things that we don't really see them do for West Indies colors. So for me, I think that the way we manage our T20 players is important. And I would like our T20 players in the IPL to come home and have a chat with our coaches about how they are treated and what is expected of them when they're in India with their franchises. And if we can get that kind of communication happening, then we can get a better understanding of what makes these guys tick and perform consistently. For the IPL is pretty long, and you have to be consistent. and your scoring and your bowling and your fielding in order to keep your player. When you look at our group of young players, I think that when you get young people together who understand cricket and who understands each other, and a lot of these guys would have played on the 19 cricket together, if you could get the right leadership and management around these young men, I think that they can perform and lift our cricket, lift it even higher to the former players that have left us, because there's more, you can see more harmony, there's vibrance, there's youth, and youth always looking to compete among each other and bring out the best out of each other. So the young squad, I believe that every selectors do pick these young men who are showcasing their talents in the IPL. I think it's a nucleus for something to be great for West Indies cricket. We can get back up to even winning the T20 World Cups. But we need to get the right people involved with these young men right now because they're enjoying T20 cricket. It's a joy to see people like Obey McCoy go in there having this bag of tricks and being successful. You know, we have young Dominic Drakes is also there. Almir's is there. We're seeing Jason Holder putting in some good performances and being trusted. Hetmar, again, I am not too happy with his fitness. I think that a young man with so much ability. I know people say we harp on fitness, but fitness is the key to sustainability, particularly in this international game. And if I think that if he works hard at his game, I think we can see the best of Hetmar in years to come. But he has to be able to put in the hard yards. It's not going to come easy. Odin Smith, again, has been given a lot of responsibility in the IPL for his first year. And he's coming up trumps. We know he's young and he's inexperienced, but he has to gain that experience as he's there. And I think the more he plays and the more they trust him, I think he too will be a match winner for West Indies in the future. So there are lots of good signs for our T20 squads. But again, the selectors have to pick the right people, and then the right players, I should say. The selectors will have to pick the right players, and then the right management team to bring all of that talent together to bring the results that we want, and that is victory.
Yeah. Finally, we know that we do have the talent, but as you mentioned, some of the players aren't as committed as they should be. I think about somebody like Sunil Narayan, who has said that he's not ready to come back yet. He plays in the T20 franchises. Andre Russell sometimes says that he's injured, and then we see him in the T20 franchises. Do you think that maybe Cricket West Indies, the selectors, and even the coach, do you think that they should find out from some of these players if they are truly committed, or do we just wait until selection time comes and go through this cycle of, oh, he might come this time, he may not come this time?
But my thing is that the selectors should have a conversation with all players to find out where they're at in relation to West Indies cricket. When you look at Narang, I'm disappointed that he hasn't hold his hand up and said he's ready. He keeps saying he's not, but yeah, he's journeying around the world. He's coming up in England to play in the hundreds. So he has to be honest. If you want to play for West Indies, is yes or no. If it is no, well, then we say we've spoken to Narang and he's not interested and we're not considering him. Andrea Russell, we've heard a lot of stuff about him in the media, and he journeys around the world playing all these T20s. And once he said he was bubble fatigued. The next couple of weeks, he's in another bubble playing T20 cricket and enjoying it. So you need to be honest with yourself. Are you going to commit fully to West Indies cricket when they have international cricket, or you don't want to? And if you don't want to, then we can make an announcement. We won't be considering you for selection because you have no interest. And just finish the story there. To keep tagging West Indies cricket along, I think it is wrong. You need to be honest and say, I'm not going to play for West Indies. I have no interest. And the selectors can start grouping the players that they want to look at and bring them into that squad. So we have to be honest with ourselves. Those players have to be honest with themselves about what they really want to do. Are they fully committed to Cricket West Indies, or they're not? And let's move on and let the selectors do the job that is required of them. Instead of people saying that they didn't select Narayan because, or they didn't select Russell because. No, let them say, look, we are playing if we want to play, and make themselves available as well to represent West Indies. I believe that if some of these players want to play for West Indies, they're going to come back to the Caribbean and play some cricket in the sun, because they play a lot of night cricket. So their eyes are accustomed to sunlight. So I feel that they need to come back and play some sun like they used to do and get tough again. And let's see the best of our cricketers representing West Indies.
Philo Wallace there, former West Indies batsman, talking about Karen Pollard's retirement from the West Indies team and the future of our one-day international and T20 teams, the senior team in the region, I should say. Pollard, by the way, is the only West Indies cricketer to have played 100 T20 internationals and struck the second most sixes, 234, in international cricket, after Chris Gale's 552. Now, 552 sixes in international cricket. That is crazy. One day we should talk to Chris Gale, right? 552 sixes, and Pollard is second with 234. Wow. But yeah, so the West Indies, the ODI and T20 teams now on the lookout for a new captain. They said that they would announce one very soon. I think that we have a series against the Netherlands coming up. So we await and see. So we have to go into another break, but when we come back, we have more sports talk.
Upgrade Mom's cell phone this Mother's Day with the all-new DL4 for only $16,650 plus tax. Get a free gift with every purchase or while stocks last. Be Mom's hero this Mother's Day. Visit a Digicel store near you or digiceljamaica.com. Digicel, made in Jamaica.
Jamaica, taste it all. Yeah, well crispy fried chicken, please.
Yeah, with Pepsi.
2 orders of spicy jerk pork.
Yeah, with Pepsi.
Give me some cheesy patties.
Yeah, with Pepsi.
Hey, can I get extra curry gravy?
Yeah, with Pepsi.
Make me some fried escovitch fish.
Yeah, with Pepsi.
Taste it all. Yeah, with Pepsi.
Pepsi.
Morning, Sister Mary. See me bring you a few things to help you out this week.
Thank you, my love. I don't know how I would have managed without the church family.
No problem, sister. By the way, me have some good news for you. You hear about the social pension program?
Social what?
Social pension.
No. What that?
Government bring in a new program that provide money for older people like you who don't have no steady income, no pension, and don't benefit from no government program. Them pay it out every 2 months.
You think me we qualified?
You did help to build this country. And now that you're old and you struggle, that make you qualify.
That's true. So what me have to do to get it?
Well, you have to take your documents and apply down at the Ministry of Labour and Social Security office. Then they'd start taking application from in May, and some people all start get the money from middle of July.
Sister Keisha, that sound good. But I don't know if I can manage all that up and down for go apply and then go collect money a month time, you know. Me not so strong again.
Ministry of that covered, Sister Mary. You can appoint an agent to help you with that if you can't manage.
Boy, it's good to know that government looking out for we old people. We make a contribution and now we don't have nothing.
The government of Jamaica has introduced a social pension program for elderly Jamaicans who do not live in a government care institution or receive cash grants from any welfare program and who do not receive a pension or NIS benefits. You can't afford to miss out. Visit the Ministry of Labour and Social Security's office in your parish to apply. You must take your birth certificate, a government ID card, your NIS and TRN cards, and your bank account details to facilitate payment of your benefits. Don't have a bank account? Not Not to worry, we will pay your benefits through a remittance agency. Apply now. For more information, call 876-922-8007 or check the ministry's website at www.mlss.gov.jm. The Social Pension Program, caring for our elderly. A message from the Ministry of Labor and Social Security.
What would I do without you? You help me carry on, you help me stay strong. Whenever I'm down and can get through, you lift me up again and going all day long. Precious moments we share with you, everything's so right. It's clear, nothing else can compare to the taste that you bring to life. Mom, you're full of life.
This Mother's Day, give mom the gift of fiber-fast internet with Digicel Plus. Stream, browse, game, work, and do everything you need with internet speed starting at 100 megabits per second. There's more for mom with a Digicel Plus home fiber bundle on Jamaica's fastest network. Access thousands of free on-demand movies and series at no extra cost. Call 876-618-DIGI to sign up or find out if Digicel Plus home fiber is in your area. Digicel Plus, better together.
Welcome back to Sports Talk right here on Love 101. We have just around 13 minutes to go. I am now joined by national swim coach and also head coach of the Tornadoes Swim Club, Wendy Lee. Coach Wendy, thank you so much for joining me.
Hi, how is everyone doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah, man, we can hear you. I can't speak for everyone, but I am certainly good. All right.
Okay.
So our Jamaican team went to Barbados recently, won 64 medals. I believe that's a record because I think in 2019 we had broken the previous record. So how satisfied were you with the team's performance?
I really didn't expect what we achieved, you know. We hadn't seen any of our competition in 2 years, so I was going in there.
All right, we seem to be having some technical difficulties there. Let me see if I can reconnect with Coach Wendy. Coach, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
So what I was saying is, oh my God.
Yes, we seem to be having a slight connectivity issue.
Yeah, we're having a connection issue, but I'm trying to fix it. Yeah. So like I said, I went with zero expectations. I said, you know, whatever blessings we get from above, we'll accept them. We went there the first day, and the kids just performed really well. And at the beginning of the first session, I said, you know, this team has potential. So at lunchtime, I took all the finalists in a room, and I said, listen to me, it's time for you guys to deliver. And once they set the tone on the first day, they were unstoppable, you know, and the team in general were so well prepared. The athletes needed so little coaching. The athletes needed so little attention. They were just there, ready to do whatever they had to do. All I had to say, okay, whose race is next? So just in general, the performance of the athletes was exceptional, beyond belief. And I was very satisfied and very excited. And I allowed myself about 10 minutes. And after about 10 minutes of all of this sinking in, I said, oh yeah, we did really well. But that means next year I have to get 65. And then I'm now in full panic mode until Easter next year.
Yeah, and we heard about a lot of the financial issues heading into the championships. So how were you? Well, you said that you didn't have to do much coaching. So how were you able to, I guess, prevent the athletes from focusing on, I guess, the negative side of that, not letting them get distracted, those type of things?
Well, you see, the kids are still 18 and under. So we tend to have the swimmers focus on the swimming and let the adults focus on the adult stuff. In general, the swimming community, the coaches of all the different clubs and the swimmers of all the different clubs live in unity, so it's the management team that has to process all the challenges, and they bear the burden without it really affecting how the swimmers perform.
Yeah. Prior to the championships as well, you had said that we have quality swimmers in the distance events, that's outside of the 50 and the 100. Did they end up living up to your expectations in that regard?
Absolutely. So, and not only, yes, absolutely. They did the 800 meters, which is the half mile. They did the 1500 meters, which is the mile. They did a 5K swim in the ocean after the last day of pool competition. So for all of you who don't get that, the 5K walks that we have that take us, some people 40 minutes just to participate in a 5K walk. These swimmers are doing the swimming in the same time that we are, not the runners, but those who are performing in a 5K, they're swimming the same speed as we walk the 5K. So that was pretty exceptional. And actually, one of the challenges that I thought that we would face is Cayman, because they're really good at the distance swims. And on day 3, we were only 5 points ahead. And on the 4th day, we had the 400 meters, which is the quarter mile, and we had the 200-meter backstroke. And traditionally, we don't have swimmers in those events. And when Zach Andre Johnson of the Speedo Swim Club, who had been just doing his job silently, came 3rd, and Brady Lewison won a gold medal in the 200-meter backstroke, and the 400-meter swimmers who really represented well. I mean, at the end of the day, we're almost 80 points ahead of Cayman, and that is not something we do, and that's very much because of the distance swimmers.
Yeah. One of our top swimmers at the meet, Sabrina Lynn, who I believe was part of your Tornadoes Club before she went overseas. She won 4 individual golds, 4 relay medals, including 3 golds. From someone who has seen her up close, how special of a talent is she?
But we always knew, from she was 8 years old, that swimming is what she was good at. What Sabrina really has, she thrives on competition. So this meet has always been special for her, the camaraderie between the Caribbean persons. So when it's time for Sabrina to kind of step up and perform and go behind the blocks and say, okay, today I'm going to win, there is no stopping her, and that those swims are not always present. So if she's not challenged, she won't deliver. So she really thrives on the competition, and that's what keeps her going. She really loves the sport. Because one of the challenges that we have now is, okay, we're always good at 17, we're always good at 18, but how much of the 17 and 18-year-olds, good swimmers, transition to the world level? So I think she has the potential. She broke the record, the Carifta record of Ariana Vanderpool Wallace, who is the Bahamas' best swimmer ever, and who went to the Olympics and has Commonwealth gold medals. So she's right on track, and she's in a really good program. She likes her program. We're trying to get her into Division 1 school, because I believe that swimming is not going to get good and get Olympians unless we get our swimmers in Division 1 schools. So we're right on track. I know she has it. And one of the things she says, Coach, I'm ready. When Sabrina says, I'm ready, then she's ready. She's unstoppable.
Yeah, so we've had record hauls for the last 2 Carifta games that we have been to. Does that signify that the sport is improving step by step compared to years of old, where we thought that a lot of other swimmers would have matriculated?
Yes, I think we have age group swimming and then we have junior swimming. So for sure we have conquered age group swimming, and I think we're going to keep thriving that way. I have to say that PEP and extending PEP all the way to April is a challenge for 11, 12 swimmers. You know, before you'd have GSAT and by February you were done. That's still going to be that transition age group is going to be hard, but age group swimming we have conquered, right? What we now need to do is really thrive in the junior level. So Anita, the last time we went to World Juniors, Anita was able to come 25th, and so right now my goal is to make top 16. Even if we can't make the A final, if we are making the B final at the world level, then we know that swimming really is progressing, you know. And our swimmers are going to Commonwealth, and we're going to the Caribbean Games in the end of June. And the team is strong, so we're going to see how we do. But yes, the interest is there. The coaches, I think the level of the coaching that we have, that the coaches in Montego Bay, the coaches in Kingston, in Speedos and in Swimmers, and in Blue Seals and Kaizen Swim Club, all our swimmers our coaches are really vested in the performance of their athletes. They're not showing up, they want to win. And I think it's also the desire for the coaches to get to the next level, why we're as good as we are now.
Yeah, and finally from me, what more can maybe the government, corporate Jamaica, schools, whichever entity it is, what more can they do to ensure that we get these swimmers competing at a top level in the future?
Well, like we have four big meets in the next 2 months. So we have Caribbean Games in Guadeloupe, we have the Pan Am age group in Trinidad, we have CC Cannon in Barbados, we have the Commonwealth Games in England. So that costs money. So any support we can get will help. What we also need, now that COVID has passed and we're able to go back in the pool, when we reach out to corporate Jamaica and say, can you sponsor a school to learn to swim? That would go a long way, because what we need is more foundation. Right now we have a group of swimmers in Montego Bay, in Kingston, in Florida, in Canada, in England, and we just need to broaden the base, you know, and we need to go in all the schools, in all the inner cities. We need to go to St. Mary, we need to go to St. Anne, we need to go to St. Elizabeth, so that the pool of swimmers we have gets bigger, and then there'll be more competition to make the teams, and for that reason we'll perform better. So we need to expand swimming in Jamaica, and people just need to say, you know what, swimming is not such a bad thing, it's actually fun.
Yeah, it certainly is, coming from a former swimmer myself. Coach Wendy, thank you so much for joining me. All the best with your swim club and all the athletes, and we hope to talk to you again very soon.
All right, thanks, and keep supporting us, and look out for us at the next 4 competitions. Let's see if we can do it again.
Yes, we certainly will. All right, take care. That is national swim coach Wendy Lee talking to us about our amazing performance at the Carifta Aquatic Championships in Barbados, where we won a record, is what, 63? Did I say 63 or 64? Anyways, they completely dominated. And if you're listening out there and you have big pockets, please support our national swim teams because they certainly need it. All right, my time here is done for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Remember, Sports Talk was brought to you by the Jamaica Customs Agency. I will be back again next week for the first Saturday in April. And then is Mother's Day after that? I should plan something around that. All right, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And please take care.
wellness of Berger today. The time by Berger for lasting beauty and protection is
1 o'clock on Love 101. So we're back with the Gospel Train. This is your girl, Deidre Parchment. Your girl, Deidre Parchment. How are you all doing? You just heard Sports Talk with Daniel Blake. I do hope you were enjoying that. As I said, we are back on the train.
All aboard!
Don't make it leave, you know. Come on, just come see me. We got this promise of salvation, and we're not holding back. We're on the train to glory, and we're heading down the